Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I have here with me a brand new camera. This is the Nikon Z5. I just got it from the Nikon office, and I've thought for a long time what kind of video that I wanted to do for this camera. There's already been lots and lots of very good videos out on YouTube that review this camera. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to walk around, get some shots on the camera, as well as just to share my thoughts, and you guys can see at the end of the day what kind of images you can produce with this, as well as how it compares to its brothers, the Z6 and the Z7. Alright, so now I have the Nikon 24-200 mounted onto the Z5, and the first thing you notice is that it's roughly the same size as the Z6 and the Z7. There's some slight differences on the body, but all in all it feels very familiar. The button placements are all almost exactly the same except for this top dial over here. You notice that it's missing the LCD display, and the dial has been moved from this side and over onto this side. And personally, just having a few times that I put the camera in my bag, I find that the dial does move on its own, so that's kind of unfortunate, but surprisingly I do not miss the top panel LCD as much as I thought that I would, because most of the time I shoot kind of with the screen out like this anyway, so I kind of have everything I need on the display right here already, so I actually don't miss the LCD panel. But all in all, it feels very comfortable, it feels very familiar. I'm very used to this, and besides the fact that this dial kind of just moves on its own too easily, there's no way to lock this. I'm quite liking the body, and of course one of my favorite things about this camera is this 2 card slots. Hey guys, so I'm here at Gardens by the Bay. This is a very popular spot where you have very nice lines leading into the distance. At 1/10 of a second, f10 and ISO 100. Alright guys, inside the cloud forest. This is quite a high dynamic range scene, so I thought that it's a very good opportunity to try out the dynamic range of the image. You can see in the sky here it's a bit blown out. If I lower the exposure, you can't see the waterfall. If I increase the exposure, you can't see the sky. So I'm going to take this back into Photoshop, and let's see how the dynamic range of the Z5 works out.
Doesn't get easier the further I run. It gets harder to carry the weight of what I've done. I am speaking from experience. I don't wanna run, run, run no more. I don't wanna run, run, run no more. Seems to me a man can do a lot of thinking when he's staring down the barrel of a gun, and the devil said it's sides with the sun. Now every morning I go to war with the ghosts I met the night before, just trying to find the grace in my mistakes. There's monsters beating down my door, they're hungry.
Hi guys, so I had the pleasure of shooting with the Nikon Z5 for the past few days. It's an excellent camera, so I'm going to go through some of my thoughts on the camera, some of the pros and cons, especially compared to the Z6 camera. You can see that these two cameras, they are almost totally identical, and one thing I really love about the Z5 is that it actually has the same resolution EVF as the Z6. So if you're coming to, this is your first mirrorless camera and you're not sure whether you can get used to the EVF, this camera has the same excellent electronic viewfinder as the Z6, so it's really awesome. And the other thing, of course, that I love about this is the price. Right now it's retailing in Singapore for about 2,099 Sing dollars, which I think is a pretty decent price to pay for an entry-level full-frame camera. And the other thing also that I love about this camera is having two memory card slots. So if one of the cards actually goes corrupted, you're not going to lose all your photos because you still have another backup back here. And the other thing I love about this that the Z6 can't do is that you can actually charge your camera using a power bank. You don't have to charge it, you don't have to plug it into a wall socket, you don't have to take a battery out. You can use a power bank with this. Now, those are things that I like about the Z5. And here are some things that I don't like about it. First of all, the display panel behind is actually of a lower resolution than you have that in the Z6. I kind of thought that it wouldn't bother me that much, but when I was out shooting in the field, it actually looks a bit grainy, it doesn't look that great. And that can also be due to the fact that the sensor inside this camera is not a BSI, a backside illuminated sensor. So it actually doesn't perform as well under low light conditions, and sometimes when you have to crank up the ISO, you can really see the images getting grainier and noisier. And another thing that I don't like about this camera that I mentioned earlier is this command dial over here. It's just, there's no way to lock it, and it's just too easy to move on its own. Every time I put it in the camera bag, I take it out, the settings changed on its own. So it's not a deal breaker. Otherwise, I think it's a great camera. It's just, sometimes I shoot with it, I can just forget that it's a Z5 and not a Z6. I think it's a very excellent value for money. Almost everything else is the same. The video is slightly inferior to the Z6. It has a 1.7 crop if you're shooting in 4K, but otherwise, if you are using this camera as a photographer, this can pass off as a budget version of the Z6, and in many cases it's actually good enough. And guys, do let me know if you have any questions about the camera. Post a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos like this. Thank you very much. Shalom and goodbye.